Well, this movie was an experience. LongLegs is a serial killer crime thriller with starring Nicolas Cage and Micah Monroe, along with some other stars, directed and written by Osgood Perkins, and it was by far one of my most anticipated movies of the year. The marketing was perfect. Everything to do with this film seemed to lead it to being one of the best horror movies of this year. And the question is, was it the best horror film of the year so far? Absolutely. Now, we all know my opinion on Late Night with the Devil being so good. We all know I absolutely adore that film. However, this movie was just peak. I have to admit, I loved this movie from start to finish. However, I do have some little things that I have issues with it, because every movie has that when it comes to the actual story of this film. However, the performances by Micah Monroe and specifically Nicolas Cage as Longlegs are just impeccable. And ultimately, the actual movie itself is just really entertaining. I mean, for the first 45-50 minutes or so, it's basically just a cat and mouse game between Micah Monroe's character and also Longlegs with Nicolas Cage. And the scenes you get with Nicolas Cage in this film, oh my god, you do not understand how good Nicolas Cage is in this film. There is some instances where he turns it up a little bit too much, Nicolas Cage, if you get what I mean. However, when it comes to the actual characteristics of Longlegs, it's just perfect. Honestly, the way Nicolas Cage is in this film is exactly what I expected, but then again, it really did surprise me with how good it actually was in a way. And ultimately, the way Nicolas Cage looks in this film, oh my god, I am so happy they hid him from most trailers. I am so happy. The marketing team behind this film deserve an Oscar. That's how good the marketing team are with this film, and that's what all films should be. I mean, when it comes to Abigail, how good Abigail would have been, or how much better would it have been to like be surprised that Abigail was a vampire film. But with Neon and, you know, Longlegs, no one really had an idea what this was about, and that's what had the intrigue for this film. And the whole thing with opening night, I saw at least 10 theaters in my area sold out all showings of Longlegs. Every single showing was sold out. That explains it all for me. I mean, when it comes to the actual movie itself, the story is definitely something I had a few issues with, because when it comes to some aspects, especially towards the last act of this film, does take a massive twist. There is a huge twist in this film when it comes to it being a very grounded story when it comes to the whole cat and mouse type style. However, towards the last act, it does start to, you know, sway away from this whole grounded style of story, which did take me out just a tiny bit, but I still enjoyed it. It was definitely one of them things where I'm like, it was interesting, it was different, so I have to applaud it for that, if that makes any sense. But ultimately, Longlegs is one of them films where you have to watch it multiple times, and I will definitely be going to see it again. On first watch, it's something that had me hooked from minute one, and I will not be saying a single scene in this film in this review. I can't bring myself to explain anything. However, the opening, oh my god, the opening of this film is just amazing. All I'm going to say is tame your expectations, though. There is a lot of reviews coming out now saying it's the scariest film of the decade, this insane film, oh my god, you're going to be terrified from minute one. Don't get me wrong, it is scary, but it's nowhere near scariest film of the decade. I have to admit, it's nowhere near. There's definitely a sense of uneasiness throughout this film. I mean, for me, when it comes to being scared, it's different, you know, aspects for every person. But when it comes to Longlegs, it doesn't make you scared, in my opinion. It just makes you uncomfortable, because the way Osgood Perkins, you know, actually shoots this film is like nearly every scene is a wide shot, and you see pretty much the whole area. So let's say we're, you know, with Micah Monroe, you know, let's say she has a letter to read or whatever to break down some of the story, and obviously to break down some of these, you know, cryptic messages. However, when Micah Monroe is kind of opening this letter, it's kind of like as if she's really small, and you'll see like a hallway, and you just expect something to go into that hallway. You expect, you know, Longlegs just kind of stroll past or something like we'd see in, you know, every horror film nowadays. However, it's basically like it has you. Do you know when you have a jump scare about to happen and you have that music, you know, the music goes dead and you're just waiting and waiting and waiting until eventually that big jump scare comes? Longlegs is like that, but the jump scare just never comes. and you're just sat there and you literally have your ass glued to the seat for all of the runtime. And that is, in my opinion, how you make a horror film. So ultimately, that is my review on Longlegs. I'm not going to have any spoilers in this video, of course, because realistically, you do not want to go and get spoiled for this film. Go and see it for yourself. If you have seen Longlegs, let me know what you thought of it in the comments below. I'd be really intrigued to see what you guys thought of it, because I'm seeing a lot of, really different reviews when it comes to exaggerating what's actually, the style of this film, scariest film of the decade and stuff like that. So ultimately, I want to hear from you guys in the comments below. If you have seen Longlegs, let me know what you thought of it, and if you haven't seen it, definitely go check it out and come back, let me know what you thought of it in the comments below. And of course, thank you so much for watching, and make sure to subscribe for some more horror content. We do everything on this channel, whether it be movie reviews, analog horror, everything to do with that. Definitely go check it out, and also hit that subscribe button if you like that side of content. Thank you all so much for watching. I will check you in the next video, and of course, stay safe and peace. First shot of this episode, Tammy picks this house.
Oh, what about that one?
Now, if you ask me, that is the, worst house you can pick. It has wallpaper on the outside.